looking at another data type of Python. So we have got integer or numeric values, then we have got strings which are text-based, and many more. Under this lecture, we'll be looking at introduction, creating string, formatting string output, string indexing, and slicing string methods, string input, and the output. A string is a sequence of characters. So string is a data type in Python for dealing with text. Typing string values in Python code is very straightforward. So you begin and you end with quotes. So it could be a single quote or a double quote. This is how we create a string. Yes, so this is how we create a string. You can have a string which is coded in single quotes. Then you can have another string which is coded in double quotes. And also you can have another one which is a multi-line string where we've got several lines of text. So if you have got several lines of text, then you have the use multi-line. You have to use triple quotes. So single quotes, double quotes, and the triple quotes. If you want your sentence in Python that you want to be printed out to be in quotes, for example, say Tony said, "I love programming." So in this case, you use escape characters that will let you use characters that are otherwise impossible to be used in the code that you are writing. So you use an escape character whereby you have to come up with a backslash. So you start with a backslash, then after the backslash, then you have to put the quote. Then you have to, at the end, you have to start with the backslash, and you have to put a quote. So now this is going to tell Python that the one which is accompanied with a backslash, and after that backslash is also one of the things which has to be printed. As you can see, all this text is put in what? In quotes. So now if you put double quote here, if you put the quotes without putting the backslash, and also here remove the backslash, put this particular quote, now from here Python is going to recognize that the quotes begins here and it ends here. So whatever is between here has not been quoted. And unfortunately, because it is text, the text is supposed to be in quotes, then it's going to give you an error. So the same thing applies. If you put a quote without having this escape character, which is a backslash, it will recognize that the quote, this is the beginning of the quote, and also this is the end of the quote. So the error will come from between here. So once you put this particular backslashes and so on, this is what you get once if you print out your text. We can also format a string, so whereby is a way of making strings that have variables embedded in them. So meaning that if you want even the variables that you have declared to be in quotes, it means now you have to format them so that you have to make your work easier. So you must start the string with the letter F, for which stands for format, as in F, then open quote, hello, then inside the quotes you should come up with the curly brackets. So inside the curly brackets is where you are going to put the name of the variable, so the variable name and so on. But if you take out this particular curly brackets, and or else even if you remove this one and you just put a name within the quotes, what is going to be printed is the name. It's not going to print the data which has been assigned to this variable. So as you can see, we've got name is equal to Alice. Print hello name. So what is going to be printed? It will be hello Alice. But if we don't put the format string, and also we don't include the curly brackets inside they are going to be the variable name. So what is going to be printed to be hello name. But if we put it like this, we format like this, as we see it, is going to say hello Alice. There's also another way of doing that. whereby this is also a simple way whereby it's a positional formatting mechanism. So you can achieve this one by using the modulo operator. So in our case, we'll simply call it percentage operator. But when it comes to program, this is modulo operator. So this modulo is not telling us that we have to find the remainder, no, but it's also one of the thing which is used in the formatting string. So here I've got name Alice, then we've got print hello, then we start with the percentage and so on. So in this case now we are not going to use the format, but we'll simply put the text that we want to be printed, then comma, then here we are going to put the modulo, then at the end we are going to put an S. So what it represents is that, so since we have got the variable name which has also been prepended with the percentage symbol, modulo symbol, so it means if you print this particular text, it's going to say hello name. So this is the position where this particular variable is going to be. So you know that this particular variable in the box, it carries the value name. Here we have used the modulus format specified to tell Python where to substitute the value of name, which is represented as a string. So the next part is formatting a string, also using the okay, we have looked at the F and the modulo operator. So this time around now we are going to use the string.format. So the string.format, as you can see, is a function in which in its side we are going to have would be a single variable, and also we can have multiple variable representing of what we have assigned. So this method of the built-in string class provides functionality for complex variable substitution and value formatting. So what happens, first of all, declare a variable name which is going to have the sentence. Now inside the sentence where you want to put the value which has been assigned to other variables, you put curly brackets. So once you this particular curly brackets, so the first curly brackets is going to take is going to be assigned to this particular variable. So it is also positional. So the first part is it will be placed within the first curly bracket, that of the curly brackets you have defined. Then the second part is going to be placed in the second curly brackets you have defined. If you have got the third, the same thing applies. So here's the example. From here, what we have, so if you say string.format, this represents the variable which has got a string value. Here's an example. We've got word, then we start with a curly bracket, is the module code of this course. So as you can see, this is what here is where now this is more like a placeholder which is going to be taken from somewhere. So in this case, somewhere we are referring to this. Now when it comes here, now we are saying string.format. We know this is a string, but it has been kept in the variable word. Now we say word.format is equal to .format. So inside this particular function we've got computer11. So what will be printed, it will be computer compu-122 is the module code of this course. So as we see what has been printed out here. Alright, so another example which has got multiple curly brackets. So the first part is the module code of this course, and the curly bracket is the course title. Now as I mentioned before, I said that the first argument represents the first set of curly brackets. The second argument represents the second set of curly brackets. So as you can see, it says compu-122 is the module code of this course. compu-22 here, what is going to be replaced? So this is just a placeholder. You see this one. So it will take this particular arrangement. So if we have got a third argument, we should also have a third set of what, or pair of curly brackets. So that is how it's going to be printed. In Python, we have got string indexing. So what it means is this. So each character in a string has a numbered position. For example, let me give you this example. Okay, you may have the first person, sorry, this second person, then we've got third person, then we've got fourth person, then we've got fifth person. Now, so all these people that we see here, they have got their own numbered position. So in Python, the position begins from 0. So this guy is at position 0, this one, 1, then we've got 2, we've got 3, we have got 4. That is how it is done in Python. So this means that the first person is on index 0, the second person index 1, the third person index 2, the fourth person index 3, the fifth person index 4. So that's how it is organized, as you can see. So if we say at the nth position, we are simply referring to the last index. So it could be anything up to thousands. So it's simply representing the 9th, could be nth position, for example, 100th position, or 4th position. So 4th position, so on. Alright, so as we can see, so how do we print it out? So here we've got a variable name which has been assigned Alice. So if you want to extract A from its position, so what we'll do, we'll simply say name in square brackets and put a 0 here. What will be printed is A. But if I put, so for example, I've got 0, so here we've got 0, here we have 1, here we have 2, then here we have 3, here we have what? Am I right? Yeah, I've got 4. So if I say name in square brackets, so inside I put 2, what will be printed here is I. So let's see how it is done. So the next part we'll be looking at the slicing. String slicing is used to pick out maybe part of a string. So it behaves like a combination of indexing and the range function. So the basic structure is you have got the string name. So here we are talking about the variable or the string name, whatever string we have. So for instance, we've got Alice. So Alice has a starting location. So any could be a starting location according to what I want to extract. I just want to take a substring starting location of what I want to get. For example, your own line. So maybe they'll say, let's take people from maybe who are at position 5 to position 10. So it means now the list will remain there. So these people will be taken, be extracted. So the same thing applies here. So you have got the starting location, then you have got the ending location, then plus 1. But now when we are slicing the ending location, when you are printing out, the ending location will be exclusive, meaning that it will not be part of what will be printed out. But if we add 1, it means now this end that has been defined will be extracted. So for instance, we've got a name Alice. So we want to extract the letters from position 0 to position 3. So in this case, we have put 4. Now you see that position 4 will not be included when we print it out. So this is what we get. But if we add 1 here, it means even E is going to be extracted. So slicing is like now you are cutting part of it you want to display. You can even start from here. You can say name 1, right? 1, then up to 4. It means now LIC are the letters that will be printed out. Or else, if you want to print maybe from L up to the end, then you just include the first position. Then the last you just leave it blank, but you make sure that you remember to put the colon here. Another thing is that you can also have an option third argument, just like in the range statement. So for instance, here we have got an argument to have added another argument. So this particular argument is telling us that when I print A, I should move 2 steps. For example, from A to L, that is 1 step. from L to I, that is one step. But if I have to move 2 steps, I must move from here, that is 1, then 2. So the second one will be printed. It means now this one is going to be jumped by putting this particular step. So it's just the same as you have got these people here. You have got these people here. So if I'm moving from here to this place, that is one step. From here, second step. From here, yeah, that would be like more like fourth step. So if I can put 4 here, it means I have to move 4 steps. So it means now this is going to be printed. That is 1, 2, 3, and what? 3, okay, and 4. So it means now this and this are the ones which are going to be printed. But now let me see. Yeah, so are the ones which are going to be printed. But here you can see that we have put 5. So do we have got the 5th position? We don't have the 5th position. But now we don't have the 5th position. It has taken the 4th position. So in our case now, what will be finally printed will be something else. It will be this one. I think it will just be A in our case. Now we also have got string methods. So strings come with a 10 of methods that return information about the string or return a new string that is modified version of the original. Strings provide methods that perform a variety of useful operations. A method is similar to a function. It takes arguments and returns a value, but the syntax is different. Here is an example. These are the methods. These are the methods we are talking about. Lower method or function. So it is telling us that if this one is appended to a variable, it means that what is going to be returned will be the lowercase of all the text that I've included. Upper is going to return the upper cases of all the text. Replace, let's say we have got, in the sentence we have got A, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to replace that A with B. So this position will be that particular A, and it will be replaced with Y, which represents B, which is here represented by Y. An example is this one, test must. So we are saying that test is the string that we have here, dot replace. So I saying, can you please replace must with MIT? When you print it out, it's going to say test MIT if you call that particular function. So that's it. And another thing is that you can also count. It counts the number of occurrences of X in the string. Now, for instance, let me take you back. This is a string, right? So this is a string. Let's say we want to count the number of occurrences of S. So what we're going to do here, we'll simply say test.count S. So the S now we're referring to, we just want to find out how many times is S appearing in the sentence. So that's it. Index, we just want to find the location of a particular letter in a word, or a particular word in a sentence, or in a list, which is an array. Is alpha, we just want to check if the text is alpha, meaning that it all contains all the letters. So what will be returned is a Boolean value, which is true. Is a digit, we just want to check if the value that has been given is a digit. If it is not a digit, it will give us false. But if it contains all the digits, it will give us true. We also have got another function which says that it starts with, meaning that, for example, say it starts with, if I put an H here, it's going to return true if that particular word, that particular sentence starts with H. But if it doesn't start with H, doesn't begin with H, it's going to give us false value. Ends with, we are referring to the end. Let's say, for example, here we've got D. So if we put in quotes, we put a D, ends with a D. So he will say test.end ends with that character, then it's going to give us true. It's going to tell us that it is true. The next thing, find x. We just want to find if x is within the sentence. So for example, in this case, if we have got h, we want to find out if h is there. So this one is useful to search for information and so on. We can also split a string into a list. For example, here we have got two words. So we can split this one using the split function. So we say test.split. Now it has splitted these two words, and they have been put in a list. We'll look at the list in our next in our future lectures. How to define a list whereby we'll be assigning multiple values to one variable. We also have got a join. So the join could be used in joining the sentences which are actually been split. Like in this case, this one was a split, but using the join, we say string.join t, this which has been split, then to be joined to become one sentence. For the len, it will give us the number of characters appearing in a string. So in our case, it's going to tell us how many characters do we have. It also counts the spaces. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You see now? So I've got 11 characters. It also includes the space. But there's also a way of how you can exclude this one, but we will not look at that this time around. Yeah, so you can exclude this one. Also, Python also allows you, we know most of the times we end up interacting with our systems, whereby we have to input data and we should get the result. Maybe we want to input 2 or 3 numbers that we want to add, and we need to get the results like the way we do on a calculator, or we are typing something and so on. We are filling a form. So also Python gives us that functionality where you can write a program which is going to accept input from the user. So what happens is that the function that will allow us to get input from the user is input. Use the input function. So in this case, enter your first name. Here, enter your last name. Now you could see that they have been assigned to variables. Then after you have entered, it will be kept in this variable. You have entered this one, it will be kept in this particular variable. And finally, it's going to concatenate the two, and it's going to print out the full name of the individual which has been entered. Yeah, so this marks the end of this particular lecture. So now let me just show you how to do some of these things, but I'll be referring to the lecture itself. All right, so we talked about okay, we have got this particular variable. So we have got what? Alice. So that is a string. So if I say name, it's going to print as Alice. All right. So type, we just want to find out the type of this particular variable. It is of type what? String, as you can see. Let me just, what next? I should be referring to this so that we should move along, understand what all these things. Yeah, so we talked about we have assigned this one with the single quotes, but you can also assign this one double quotes, the Alice, as you can see, then it works. But you can also have another one. So let me just put it as what? Name 2. So this will be a long word, McLean. So hello world, I love you. So if I press enter, it will not learn because it expects something at the end. tomorrow we are going to Blantyre. Then I have to close with double quotes. Now you see, now it has been kept. So if I say name 2, that is what is going to be printed. So that's what is going to be printed. So forget about what has been put here, because I put an enter position, so it was think that it's a new line. But if you're using other, if you can format proper, it's going to give us 2 sentences. So that's it. So now so let us move forward. Okay, all right. So that is a string. Anyway, forget about that error. So next, so next we want to print, for example, I'll say maybe sentence. So this one will be a sentence equals to so this, I want this one to have a quote. So I'll say I would like to go to town. I'm going to escape that one. Then I'll just put a comma. Then I'll say Christopher said. So close it there. Now if I say sentence, so as you can see, what has happened? Okay. Oh yeah, just forget about that one. So I say, okay, I would like to go to town. As you can see, this one has been put in quotes. Has been put in quotes. Christopher said. So that's the text we get once if we use. But if we, for example, let me take the same thing. So the same sentence, and then bring it here, right? Okay, forget about that. Then let me remove this and also this. Now you can see invalid syntax. So what is saying here is that this is what? This is a text, this is a string. It's supposed to be in quotes. But Python is recognizing that the beginning of the quote is here, this is the end of the quote. From here, it doesn't know what is actually happening. It will give us an error. And also from here to here, that's fine. But what is in between here is not recognized. There's something wrong which has to be done. It should be in quotes. So that's the error we get. So to correct it, we should do as we have done here. As you can see, we should do it as we have done here. The next part is about formatting string. Alright. So I'll say name equals to, so in quotes, so I'll just use a single quote to make it easier. That is what? James. So now I want to print a sentence, right? So I use an F string, open with a bracket, and I'll say hello, comma. Then I have to put these square brackets here, then say name, then finally close that particular quote and close with this, then say print hello James. But if I do it in a different way, for example, if let me just move this one and also this one, I'm calling this variable here that has to be printed. What will be printed is not this name, it will be something different. You see now hello name. So that's where now the error comes from. Then we have got another flavor, that of using the percentage symbol. So in this case we don't use the F format, but we'll say hello, comma, then percentage, then name, then finally that will be out of the quotes, then percentage name, then close with that particular bracket. Where have I gone long? Okay, yeah, I'm supposed to put an S here, so that's where the problem is coming from. So I must put an S here. I don't have to put the actual variable name. So if I print that one, another error, syntax error, invalid. Okay, all right. So let me just remove this comma. Yeah. So the problem was the comma that we embedded here. So we're not supposed to put the comma here. The next part, we are going to use the string format. So here, but I'll make sure that I use the same name. I don't have to repeat. So let me say word. Yeah, so this would be sentence 1 is equal to, I have to put in quotes, then these two brackets. I want to say James is very rich in town. So this is what we have. Then after that, what I'll do, I'll simply say sentence, right? Sentence 1 dot format. So inside here, I'm going to put the name of the person. So this one is going to be Harrison. It's going to be Simon, then brackets, then I'll press enter. As you can see, this is Simon has been put here. Simon is very rich in town. So that's how it is done. We can also do the same. Let me take the same sentence and bring it here. Yeah, he's very rich in town. And his brother, comma, his brother dash. So I'm going to put the name of the brother, Tony, has been sent to the UK for postgraduate studies. I'll press enter. So what I'll do here, I'll simply say sentence 1 dot string dot format in brackets. Then I'm going to put I'm going to put the same Simon brackets, then comma. So this is going to be what? Tony. We put Tony here. Yeah. So close with a bracket. So what are we going to get? Simon is very rich in town, and his brother Tony has been sent to the UK. So that's how it is done. This was is it the second? Oh yeah. So we have got multiple of them and so on. So we have done that part, and also we have also done that part of adding multiple strings, multiple pairs. We have a pair and so on. Now, so what about string indexing? Now, in string indexing, let me declare another variable here. Let me just give it the name index1. So this will be Gabriel. Okay. So index1 is what? It is Gabriel. We have Gabriel. Now let me Right. Okay, so let me get the index. Let me just get index. Let me, because I already mentioned that these are, so what is it that we have at position 0? So at position 0 we've got G. So what do we have at position 3? So what we have at position 3 is R. So if we can prove it, that is 0, 1, 2, 3. 3 is here. Now let us look at slicing. So slicing, what we do, okay, let me print from 0 to 2. What am I going to get? To 2, what am I going to get? I'm going to get GAR. So that is 0, 1, 2. So 2 is what? Exclusive. But if I want that particular 2 to be inclusive, I'll put a 0, then in 2 plus 1. So just the same as putting 3. You see now? So 0, 1, 2, just the same as putting 3, and so on. I can also print from maybe position 3. Yeah, so position 3 to the end. So if I want to print from 3 to the end, I will not include the last. I will not include the next what, the other number, the other index. So this is real, as you can see. Real 0, 1, 2, it begins from 3. Real, I'm going to print everything, so on. So the same can be applied. Let me print from index. Okay, let me from index 0. Yeah, so it would be index 0 to 4, then with a step of 2. So what I'm going to get, I'm going to get GB. So with a step of 2, GB, you see I'm getting GB. From G to A, step 1. A to what? To B, that is what? Step 2. So this one, step 2. So here I'll put 1, that is 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, B. Right? So here we've got what? We've got a 3. Right? So we've got a 3. But since we have put 4, it means now R and I will not be printed because we're moving steps. And from here to here is one step. From here to this is step number 2. But because it's the last index that I've defined, it will not be included. Not be included. I can also print. I can have also the reverse of that one by just putting a negative. So what am I going to get? Okay, negative, it means now I'm getting the last. So this is the last what? The last index. The last index, that's negative. But if I want to print it in a reverse manner, so what I'll do to be negative 1, then let me see if it's going to be reversed. I think it's not going to be reversed. So what should I do? Maybe let me see. Index. Then I should start with this one. The negative 1. Oh, okay, Gabriel. So it means now the last has not been included. Has not been included. Anyway, but there's a way of doing that. So I think it's beyond this lecture. So I've done all this slicing. Now let us look at string methods, whereby we are going to look at lower, upper, and so on. Let me declare this variable Gabriel. So that's what we have with index 1, that is Gabriel. Now I want to change this Gabriel to lowercase. So what I will do, I'll say index dot lower. Make sure that you put all these brackets. So as you can see, all they have been printed into lower. And also let me make them into uppercase, dot upper. So those are what? All right. The next function is to check. I want to replace G. Let me replace G with M using the replace function. So for instance, let me just put this one using the replace function. So this is a comment, of course, in Python. Yeah, so what I have to do, I'll say yeah, okay, so let me replace that index 1 dot replace. So inside here I have to enter G, right? Then that G must be replaced. So say Gabriel. Let me just be replaced with the J. So it's going to be Gabriel. Gabriel. You see now? So this Gabriel has been replaced. Let me print it again if I'll get the same result. So index 1. Yeah, okay, all right. Anyway, if you were to assign it, so it's giving us the same. Here it's just giving us the result, but if you have to assign it, then we can use that particular assignment throughout. But let's go back to that Gabriel. So the next thing, count. So let me count. Let me count how many times does B appear. So I'll say index 1 dot count. So what is it that I want to count? Put in brackets. Let me count R. How many times is R appearing? This one. So you see that now R is appearing once. So the same thing if we had 2 R's, it would have indicated 2 here. The other ones, okay, we just want to check. Let's use the same R. We want to find out the index where R is positioned. Dot index. So what's the index of R? What's the index of R? At what position is R? We'll see that the position R is at position 3. Is that correct? 0, 1, 2, 3. That is right. All right. Now let us check if the index 1 is all alphanumeric. So is what is alpha? Let me check. Is alpha? Yeah. Is alpha? Yes. Is alpha. Let me just check. Is that it true? Yes, it's true. Oh, we have alphabets. Index 1 dot is digit. Do you have got any digit? It is false. We don't have any digit. But for example, if you have got num1, if I've got num1, so the numbers are not put in what? So if we say num1 dot is digit, I've made a mistake here. Dot digit. What has happened? Hello. Yeah. Person not going to lie. Hey. Okay, jabu ndi banga sort out. Yeah. Yep. So num1 just is a digit. Yes. So what is happening here? What is happening here? So what we have here are all digits. Maybe it's wrong. Let me just try. So on checking if the number is a digit, so for instance this number it has to be a string. Yeah, it must be a string, because now we are working with the strings. Just simply to check if whatever we've typed is what is their own digits. So you should make sure that the numbers that are in what they have been written as a string. So from there, then we can write is the digit. Yeah, so once if we do that, it tells us that it is a true. But if I take the same number, and then I try to combine with some letters, and now I say is the digit, it will say it is false because there is a combination of digits and the alpha. But if I say, let me try to check if we say is the alpha, let me see. Yeah, it tells me it's false because we don't only have alphabet letters, but we also have some numbers in it. So that's it. So the next thing, I think we've looked at all this. So the next thing is what? Okay, starts with, ends with, and so on. So should we check? I'm going to define a variable which is going to be, say for example, let it be a name. So let me call this one as the name of the city. Let me put Blantyre. So this will be the name of the city, Blantyre. Then I should say name dot what dot starts with the, so inside I have to put maybe for example a B, should be in capital letters, should appear as it is. Yes, that's with, yeah, it is a true, it is starting with a B. But if I say name dot starts with the, then I type something like for example L. Yeah, so which is an L, it will tell me that it is false because it doesn't start with that. Now let us try with the, it ends with it. So our name Blantyre ends with an E, right? So let me see. Yeah, it is true that it ends with an E. So if we put a different letter, it will give us the false value. Let's go back. So I've done starts with, ends with, and so on. Now find. So what is it that we want to find? Let's say for example, maybe let us look for let's say name dot find. So what is it that I want to find from that particular string? So let me find what A. What is it giving me? So it says if A is a variable, and this A will be found at position number A. But now let me just do a different thing here. Let me just say right, okay, so let me just put as weight is equal to, then let me say hello James. So hello James, where are you going? So it ends there. So wait, it has printed hello James, where are you going? So now let me use, so word dot find, and I should look for the word James. If it is there, James, let me see what I'm going to get now. So yeah, so it is telling me that James is there, but now James, it begins at position number, because now here is simply looking at letters. It is beginning at position number 7. Let's count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are even going to count the comma. 6 space is also part of the character. Then James, that is 7. So it will simply give us where it begins. So the next thing, let me split. Let's look at the split. Yeah, so if you look at the split, we can split that sentence. Dot split. Yeah, so this is what we'll get. Hello James, where are you going? So these are the words which have been split. But now we can join these words. So how do we do it? How do we do that? Now we'll start with the this course dot join. The inside I'm going to put this variable that we have declared here. So this variable, so that we can join them. So now it has joined. Now it looks like one sentence. So that's what we have. So I say word Yeah, so that is one sentence. But let me just repeat this one and see. I say word is equal to, let me type again word. Alright, so that's it, we have joined. But you come to know these things when you start using the actual ID, not this one. What next? Yeah, so we've done the join. So let me check the length of the characters that we have in that way. So if I say word to lane, no, I think I made a mistake. It must, yeah, so lane is a function that needs to have an argument inside it. So lane, we have to put the variable inside it. So I've got 33 characters. So if you start counting from here, that is 1. I'm not counting the position, but I just count. When you are counting, you start from 1, but when you want to find the position, you start from 0. So if you count all these, it will indicate that it's 33. Alright, so what follows next? Finally, we've got the input. What is it that we want to input? So let's say, okay, I'll have like first name. So I'll have first name, then inside here I'll use the input function. Then I have to put a prompt word. Enter your first name, right? Right, and here we must put a space. So there should be a space between your prompt sentence and also the actual value that you're going to enter. So let me enter James. So that's it. Here let me declare another, which is his second name, which is the surname. So for the sake of time, let me just copy this one and paste it here. Let me say enter second name. So second name will be Banda. So now I want to print these, the first name and last name, since they have been kept in this variable. First name is in this variable and also second name in this variable. Now let me print them out. So what I'll do, I'm going to concatenate. So this time around I'll simply use I think this comma symbol. So this comma symbol, it also puts a space in between. Yeah, so on. So it says James Banda. We have concatenated there. So I think my demonstration ends here. Thank you so much.